Hi everyone, welcome back. So this time we're doing a lesson on using something called summary statistics. So that's when we get a summary of our statistics and we're going to do something with them so we can use them to discuss the data as a whole that we're working with. So one thing we've done before is to create box and whisker plots. Or sometimes they're just called box plots, and you've seen this before. So what we're going to do to create a box and whisker plot is place 5 particular points on a scale, and the scale is one that we would create that is relevant to our data. And the things that we're interested in here are Q0, or our minimum score, Q1, remember that's the first quartile, the median, which remember is the second quartile, Q3, the third quartile, and our maximum, or Q4, the highest one. The box part runs between Q1 and Q3, and the whiskers go from the minimum to Q1 and Q3 up to the maximum. And you can do it either vertically or horizontally and get the same sort of usefulness out of it. So these numbers are often called the 5-number summary. So if it tells you use the 5-number summary to create a box plot, that's what it's talking about, those 5 values. Okay, so just one little reminder before we get going with that is the median is found with this little formula. It's the n plus 1 over 2 position or score. Remember, that's not the actual median, that's where it is, where you can locate it. Q1 and Q3, which are the quartiles, are found by n plus 1 over 4 position or score. Now remember, sometimes you might have to find in between two. Now this formula is when you've got an odd number of data items and when you've got an even number of data items. For example, 14 data items would be even, then it's n plus 2 over 4. So, and remember that just tells you the position or score, and you still need to actually go away and find the quartile. So let's have a look at a bit of an example. So construct a box plot to show these dress sizes of a group of women, and you've got quite a large range there, going from a 10 right up to a 22 by the looks. So it says, so construct a box plot and then use a graphics calculator to show the box plot. So you need to be able to do these things both manually and on the graphics calculator. So they've used the graphics calculator and entered the data just like we did in the last few lessons to find those values that we're looking for. So in this case, our lowest score is 10, our Q1 is 12, our median or Q2 is 16, our Q3 is 18, and our highest score, our maximum, is 22. So you should be able to use your graphics calculator to find that. Once you've got that, you need to draw a scale, which means this number line here, that's appropriate for the data that you've got. So you need a value below the minimum and you need a value above the maximum. So you can see here they've got 8 and 24, which are below our minimum and above our maximum. And something else to notice about the scale is it's evenly spread out, both distance-wise and also numerical values separating them. Okay, so draw the scale, put those dots at those scores that you've found, the 5-number summary score. So each one of these represents one of those values. So this is your minimum, Q1, the median, Q3, and the maximum. That's what those dots represent. And you can see they're evenly spaced across horizontally. So they're the same distance away here. Same distance, each one. Okay. So once you've done that, you're actually going to draw in the box and whiskers. So the box goes from Q1 up to Q3, and we have another line where the median is. So this shows us where our middle value is. And then we have whiskers that go from minimum to Q1 and maximum to Q3. And that is what a box and whisker plot looks like. It's important that you've got some sort of label on your plot. So make sure your plot is labeled. So it is just providing information about what the data is all about. Okay, so it shouldn't be too hard for you to do that manually. How to do that on the calculator can be found in your textbook, but I've also provided here for you the actual keystrokes you need to enter on your calculator. Now this is done using this older calculator, but the keystrokes should be the same. And you can see here that that is exactly the same, the one on the calculator, as what you can see above here. So it's no difference at all. So, oops. So you need to be able to plot manually and on the graphics calculator. So I would encourage you to stop here and to take some time and follow the keystrokes and see if you can make this plot appear on your screen. And if you can't, please make sure you stop and ask me any questions. So there's all the keystrokes for you there. The instructions are also on these pages of your textbook, but hope it might be a bit clearer here. So this section is where you're entering the data. And then it's got instructions down here about how to programming. So this is how to program to produce that. So you need to be able to do both of those things. Okay, so try it on your calculator. Once you've done that, have a go at these two questions. Following on from this, we can also produce what's called side-by-side box plots, or sometimes they're called parallel box plots. And they're when you've got two box plots like this on the same set of scales. And they're really useful because they allow us to visually compare the data that we're working with, okay? And maybe make some conclusions really quickly because of that. So we've got some data here. Again, it's individual lots of data, but we've got two lots of it, one for boys and one for girls. So we're going to do it in exactly the same way as we did the last one, but this time we're going to have two lists of data, list 1 for boys and list 2 for girls. So you will put that into your calculator like that, and if you calculated them manually, this is what you would end up with. And you would draw them like this. So same as before, no different. You're simply drawing one above the other. And it doesn't really matter which one goes above the other one because you're going to label them both anyway. So, but you're drawing them on the same scale. So that's the important part here. You can see here, it's got a little statement, and that's come straight from the graph. So we can say here the boys run faster than the girls at this age, but some girls do run faster than many of the boys. And you can tell that because the bulk of our stuff, the bulk of our data is in that middle section. And that's the information that's coming from here. So some boys run faster than many of the, some girls do run faster than many of the boys. And they're talking about all of the values from here to here are the girls. And there are boys that fall below that range as well. So it's not a very specific description, but it is useful and as a general description, which is what we've got here. Now again, here are the keystrokes. Now that looks scary, but we've just got two data lists, so that's why it looks really huge. So it's exactly the same as what you did before, except you're entering two lists of data this time. And then below here, the programming is a little bit different. Very similar, but slightly different because this time you're working with two lists and you need to tell the calculator that, otherwise it won't know. So have a go with that. If you can't do anything or you can't get this response on your calculator, you can't get these drawings, please stop and please see me and we will go through it together. But it is really important that you practice that. Okay, so once you've done that, you're going to do these questions. So notice that the first couple are included here as well. So they were questions 1 and 2. So really I want you to do 1 to 6 in total. So do all of those and let me know if you have any problems. See you in class.